Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, Seaport Said welcomes you into coverage of East Coast Conference men's basketball, streaming exclusively on Flow College. In the second game of today's East Coast Conference doubleheader, the College of Staten Island Dolphins host the Lions of Molloy University. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nicholas Pavona, once again joined by my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman, and this is the McDonald's pregame show. McDonald's, our scoreboard sponsor here at the College of Staten Island. They bring you coverage ahead of every CSI Dolphins home game. And, Joe, the Dolphins locked up their number 3 seed in the ECC playoffs with a win this past Thursday at Queens. For the first time in the Division II era, the Dolphins will be hosting a playoff game this upcoming Wednesday night at 7 p.m. The lone question that now remains for this Dolphins team is who is going to be their opponent in 4 days. What are the possibilities that remain in terms of the opponents for the CSI and the visiting Lions here today?
Starting with the Dolphins, everything is much more straightforward than the scenarios we went over ahead of the women's game. If Roberts Wesleyan wins their game today against Deauville, they are the number 6 seed. If the Redhawks lose and UDC defeats Queens, UDC is the number 6 seed and they face the Dolphins. If both teams lose, Roberts Wesleyan remains the number 6 seed and we see them face the Dolphins here at the tank next week. As for Molloy, they will be facing Deauville at home. That matchup is set and cannot change regardless of today's results.
And it was a completely dominant win for CSI on Thursday at Queens, Joe. Arguably their most decisive victory of the season. And following the disappointment that came from their loss to UDC on Alumni Day, this team has bounced back to win 2 straight games. How important is it to go into the playoffs having won 3 straight? We now see that on the women's side that's happening for them. And how do you avenge an earlier season loss to this Lions team that they had?
I think the answer to your first question is right there in your second question, Nick. If the Dolphins were coming off a commanding victory against the Lions earlier this season, I think it would be fair to say that this game might carry slightly less significance. However, the Lions handed the Dolphins a loss last time these two teams met, and I think that raises the importance of this game just a bit. That being said, I don't think you want to avenge the loss earlier in the season at the expense of operating at 100% entering the playoffs. It will certainly be interesting to see how TJ Tibbs manages that balance here this afternoon, but as for what CSI can do to improve upon their first outing against Molloy, it starts with their shooting, and we say it all the time, Nick. Sometimes it's just that simple. It was a rare off night shooting for the Dolphins at Molloy earlier in the season, but we did see a few more games like that during the final month of the regular season from late January and through the month of February. The team did find a way to win several of those games, including 3 where they shot 30% or less from downtown in just the last month. They don't want to try and win a 4th game like that here this afternoon or any more like that in the playoffs, so that's something they'll look to address. The Dolphins were great on the glass against Molloy, great from the free throw line, and only committed 10 turnovers. But when your opponent shoots 49%, as the Lions did in that game, and you shoot 38%, it's tough to win, and it took overtime for the Lions to knock off the Dolphins.
And just like the Dolphins, the Lions know where they are seated heading into today's matchup. However, they also know their first-round opponent. Winning or losing this game really does not change anything for the Lions at the end of the day, as other teams are vying for that last playoff spot. Selfishly, you have to, I think I speak for maybe the both of us when I say this. I think I'd like to see these two teams go at it like they did 4 weeks ago, where it was nice action between the two teams. They came down to the wire. But I'm just not sure where we're going to see here today. I think it's really a game that has a big question mark. From the Molloy side of things, how did they manage to outlast the Dolphins the last time these two teams met?
When you have 4 players that score 19 or more in a game, that's a pretty good place to start. And as I mentioned before, they shot over 49% from the field in the win over the Dolphins. Jared Weekly scored an efficient 20 points on 9 of 13 from the field and was just 2 rebounds shy of a double-double. Both Chase Timberlake and Chris Stokel scored 21 and played 40-plus minutes in the overtime win, and Dylan Kopp added 19 more in 40 minutes out there on the floor. You can't ask for much more out of your starting 5 if you're Molloy. However, the CSI bench did outscore the Lions bench 19-5.
Well, Joe, in a few short moments, we're going to have the introduction of today's starting lineups. But before we get to that part, we have Senior Day activities here at the Tank. We'll have the Senior Day festivities take place before tip-off here at CSI, and then after those festivities are done, 5 minutes will be put on the clock before tip-off between the Dolphins and the Lions here today. So what you and I will do is we'll take a side and take a break, and we'll look back at the last meeting between these two teams as a part of our Buffalo Wild Wings game rewind after the Senior Day festivities for the 3 graduating seniors here today for this Dolphins men's basketball team. Lions-Dolphins action in just a few short moments coming up right after this break. And we are back here at the Tank, about a few short seconds away from beginning our pregame festivities here at CSI. So what I will do is I will step off headset, I will throw it over to public address, and I will be manning our camera today for our CSI Senior Day festivities. I'll be back in just a few short moments as Joe and I will take a Buffalo Wild Wings game recap and look back to the last time these two teams met.
Welcome back to the Tank here on the campus of College Staten Island for today's matchup between the Molloy Lions and your CSI Dolphins. Before today's tip-off, we would like to celebrate Senior Day for our graduating men's basketball seniors. At this time, we'd like to take a few minutes to one by one recognize their contributions to the CSI men's basketball team. Starting with team manager Charles Robinson. Our first senior is our head manager Charles Robinson. Charles has been the backbone of the men's basketball program for the past 2 years, serving as team manager with dedication, care, and heart. He's a communications manager who has both organizational leadership and a calm presence on everything they know. Always making sure the team is prepared Consistently impacting the game on both ends of the floor. This season as well as Kennedy is further being a prime contributor for the Dolphins while sitting in the top ranks in the conference. He currently ranks second in the East Coast Conference with a 57 field goal percentage, which also leads the team, while his 8.4 rebounds per game plays a fourth overall in the conference standings. Earlier this season against the University of the District of Molloy, he pulled down 15 rebounds, tying up the fourth most in a single game
Nicholas Pavona and Joe Foreman rejoining you back from the College of Staten Island. And Joe, we just saw our Senior Day festivities for the 3 graduating seniors here today. Eric Tynes, Asa Kone, and J.J. Chestnut. They were congratulated by their family, friends, as well as their teammates here at the College of Staten Island. And as we already know, they get another game here at the Tank next Wednesday in their first-round matchup. We're still waiting to see who they will play in that first-round matchup. But speaking of matchups, Joe, let's look back to the last time the Dolphins took on this Molloy Lions team as a part of our Buffalo Wild Wings game rewind. It's a big win for Molloy at that point in time. It all gets started, as we'll get in just a few short moments, doing this by myself, but we start off with an ET3 to get things underway.
And then it will be Aaron Goldstein to Asa Kone inside for the finish.
Big job right there as Tynes then will call up right here with the pull-up jump shot. It gets that one to fall.
Well, that was followed by a Tynes 3 and an Asa Kone slam.
Big-time slam right there by Kone. Ferocious one as that play. As we see right here, Tynes with a pull-up, a nice jump shot right there, and then he gets another ET3.
ET3 is always a big part of this Dolphins offense, as are AG3s. He knocks one down from the corner.
And you mentioned those ET3s made a big part of the offense. Let's get another one right there, his third.
And here you'll see the three-pointer on the way. It won't go, but J.J. Chestnut soars in for the putback.
Nice job by Chestnut right there on that putback. And then you'll see right here, Chestnut goes on the drive, goes with a pull-up jump shot.
And then it's another 3 for Aaron Goldstein. This time from the top of the arc, he knocks it down.
Big shot by Goldstein right there. Then how about Mitchell Wiggin this season's been a big spark for the Dolphins off the bench. Fights through traffic right here. Gets a really tough lay-in to fall.
Wiggins so good around the basket, but he's not the only one. Wiggin finishes in traffic. This time off the pass fake, it's Aaron Goldstein to the rim.
A really tough lay-in by Goldstein right there. As we'll see in this next play, Poulin finds Chestnut. It's a JJ3 right there.
Doesn't quite have the same ring to it without the rhyme, but that's okay. This time it's Wiggin to the basket, off the window and in.
Don't worry, Joe. This next one will fit right off. It's another AG3.
An AG3 there, and the Dolphins trail by 9 in the second half with 12 minutes to go, but that puts a dent in that lead.
And you'll see right here, Goldstein with how about that reverse lay-in? A really tough lay-in for Goldstein right there.
And how about another for AG here? And one, count the basket and the foul. Dolphins within 5, 9 minutes to play.
Still within 5 right here. It's Tynes on the fast break lay-in to put them within 3.
And now Mitchell Wiggin through the contact, finishes with the left hand. He heads to the line for one. It's a 2-point game.
Chestnut then finds Goldstein on the cutting layup. Gives CSI within 4.
Dolphins battling back for much of this game. They trail by 2 with just over 4 minutes to play, and it's Wiggin to the basket. He finishes once again through contact.
And then he finishes right there with a big-time 3 with 2:30 to go in that regulation.
We're now inside of a minute to go. Aaron Goldstein finds room and gets that lay-in to go.
And you'll see right here as Chestnut goes with that floating lay-in.
Dolphins in overtime now, trailing by 2. It's an AG3 from way downtown.
Yeah, tough jump shot right there by Wiggin in overtime, puts them within 1.
Chestnut converts again, 3-point game.
And you'll see right there another lay-in for Chestnut. Keeps them within a point, but on this last possession, Joe, Dolphins do not take a 3-point shot. They try to kick it inside, and that would effectively cost the Dolphins the game. They didn't get the 3-point look they wanted. They lose the game 197, and that last encounter between these two teams.
Yeah, a bit of a baffling final possession for the Dolphins there, but that shouldn't take away from what kind of game it was. It was a back-and-forth game. The Dolphins were in the midst of a stretch that it's hard to call a struggle for them, but they trailed by double figures at one point in 3 straight games, and that game that we just looked back at against Molloy was one of those games. They trailed by double figures. They came back. They got the game into overtime, but couldn't pull away for the victory in that game. That being said, Dolphins did a lot of good things in that game outside of their shooting, and more often than not, they've shot the ball well this year. They're a team that comes in shooting a very impressive 45% from the field. Their opponents are also shooting nearly 45% from the field. So we'll see how they do today in terms of shooting. The Lions, as I mentioned earlier in the pregame, shot really well against the Dolphins last time they faced off. CSI will hope to change that in this game.
And Joe, starting lineups are being introduced on the floor, so I'll bring you those starting lineups for today's action. We start off with 0, Manu Alford. Number 5, Dylan Kopp. Number 9, Bryce Merchant. Number 13, Chase Timberlake. And number 23, Chris Stokel. For the Dolphins, it's number 1, Joey Poulin. Number 3, J.J. Chestnut. Number 10, Asa Kone. Number 21, Aaron Goldstein. And number 32, Eric Tynes.
And we mentioned during the pregame, of course, that the Dolphins recognized 3 seniors ahead of this game. And I think it's hard to overstate how important these 3 players have been to the program this year. You get a look at what Chestnut and Kone have done this year. Those 2 Dolphins returning from last year's squad. JJ has done just about anything he's been asked since he's joined this Dolphins team, and he was asked to assume a bit of a bigger role at times and asked to take a back seat in terms of scoring to Aaron Goldstein at other times, but he still managed to deliver in a big way as the team's second leading scorer, shooting over 42% and over 39% from beyond the arc. As for Kone, he's had to shoulder a much bigger load offensively, defensively, and on the glass this year. He's excelled in all 3 areas, shooting nearly 59% from the field and grabbing over 8 rebounds per game. He's also blocked 16 shots this year. And finally, a newcomer, the lone newcomer among the senior class for the Dolphins this year, Eric Tynes. He's been really impressive with what he's been able to do from all 3 levels offensively. He can score around the basket. He can score from three-point range. He can do it off the catch. He can do it off the dribble. Such a versatile offensive player. And though he's had a bit of a cold stretch late in the season, he's still shooting 36% from beyond the arc. That's a great number. At one point this season, at around the midway point, maybe the 2/3 mark, he was shooting close to 40% from deep. If he gets back on track in time for the postseason in terms of his outside shooting, this Dolphins team becomes even more dangerous come playoff time.
Now, Joe, I just want to make a quick note. I might need you to relay this to Flo, but I'm not sure if we are live right now on Flo. I am seeing red circles right next to where our streams are for our ad insertion, so I'm not sure if we are live right now on Flo for the moment in time. I don't know if
we are not, Nick. Okay. You need to give it a restart.
Okay. I didn't think we were. Do I have to restart the entire stream, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
On a production truck?
Stop and start.
Okay. It was funny. I was trying to start and rejoin you back on the call. I'm not sure why I said your name first, Joe, when I'm calling the game. But, nonetheless, we are back for the start of today's action. Aaron Goldstein with that pull-up jumper off the mark. And it's rebounded right there by the Lions. It was rebounded by Stokel, or correction, by Timberlake. As Timberlake goes up with it, might have been altered by Kone. Nonetheless, rebounded by Chestnut. Chestnut out the Tynes, now out to Goldstein. Dolphins had numbers just for a second now. They get back to 5-on-5. This is Chestnut. Gets the screen. That's a new matchup as he kicks it out to Tynes. Tynes now has it. He drives inside. Pull-up jumper off there, and Tynes gets it to fall. First Dolphins points of the day belong to Eric Tynes. They're up early 2-0 in this game. On the drive right there is Stokel. He goes up with it. Misses, rebounded by Tynes. This is Goldstein now with it. Out to Tynes. Tynes for 3. Off the mark. Rebounded by Poulin. And he tried to kick it to Kone, but turns it over. This is Kopp with it. Gives it out to Merchant. Merchant now gives it up to Timberlake. Now out. Back to Kopp for 3. That one off the mark. Rebounded by Poulin. Chestnut kicks it inside. Kone has an open look. Avoids the fake and gets it to go.
All right, Nick, just to clarify what happened, we are back online on Flow College. We apologize to that audience for missing the Senior Day presentation. Nick and I were very much live. Flow simply was not receiving the feed. Senior Day will be available in 24 hours on our YouTube channel along with the full broadcast.
Last three-point shot right there off the mark for Kopp. Rebounded by Kone. It's an early 4-0 lead for CSI here About 3 minutes, or 2 minutes in, excuse me, into this first quarter, or first half. I'm still at the women's basketball game, Joe.
Well, to be fair, Nick, you did have to scramble to get us back online as you were giving out fist bumps.
As Chestnut knocks down the 3, it's a 7-0 lead for CSI. Yeah, I didn't want to leave the players hanging. I was trying to get our stream going, and they were waiting at the table for me to give them the fist bump before they went out to the court. That was almost an awkward interaction right there. Merchant gives it up. This is Alford. Alford looking for somewhere to go. Goes up with it. Might have been altered by Goldstein in terms of block. Not sure if it was, but nonetheless, it's CSI basketball.
Well, if you're the Dolphins, you can't ask for a much better start than this. That being said, Nick, I haven't been able to catch a second of it as I've been communicating with the text as well, so I'm several hundred miles away.
Of course, you are in coverage for softball as Tynes knocks down the ET3. Timeout, Lions.
Well, we said the Dolphins were looking for Eric Tynes to heat up a bit heading into the playoffs. There's a good start for Tynes. You can't ask for a much better start if you're the Dolphins. They lead by double figures, and we're just underway from the College of Staten Island.
And in our last, TLC Physical Therapy halftime report with TJ Tipstow, that's what he wanted to see a lot more of. He wants to see Eric Tynes shoot the ball more and make more plays before his CSI career comes to an end. His team up early, 10-0, just about 3 minutes into this first quarter. Lions called a timeout. A really strong start for the CSI team, Joe, as we'll say it right here during this timeout.
Tynes already with 5 points on 2 of 3, including that last three-pointer. Chestnut burying his lone three-point attempt. Kone with a basket inside. And the Dolphins looking very strong early against Molloy. And Nick, given what we saw on Thursday against Queens just a couple of days ago and the way the Dolphins played in that game, to get off to a start like this against Molloy, if you're another team right now, potentially looking at a matchup with the Dolphins in the playoffs, this team's looking pretty scary at the moment.
That jump shot off the mark for Stokel. Dolphins now have it. This is Chestnut. Chestnut out to Goldstein. Goldstein maybe thought about a 3, but couldn't hold on to the ball. Still has it right now. Gives it up back to Chestnut. Chestnut to Tynes. Back to Chestnut. Chestnut looking to go with somewhere. Gives it up to Tynes, but his jersey was tangled up right there by Alford. He's called for the foul.
Oh, Nick, I heard it over PA.
Yeah, I heard it too. I made sure not to say
Number
it.
0 is not going to happen much longer on my watch. Anthony's days are numbered if he doesn't fix this.
It's funny enough, I actually watched a different game. I'll mention that in a second as Goldstein's 3 is off the mark, and a foul is called on Tynes on the over the back. But I forgot which college game I was watching earlier this week. Maybe it was last week. It might have been the St. John's game that happened this week. They did the same thing that you usually do. They said 0, not number. So I was like, okay, so it's not only Joe. Some other places do it too.
Because that's the right way to do it.
That's the right way to do it, yeah.
We're professionals here, Nick.
Of course. This is Timberlake out to Alford for 3. That one off the mark, rated by Kone. Lions still looking for their first points of this game. Inside pass to Kone. Kone goes up with it, and a great move by Kone on the find from Chestnut.
Well, the Lions off to an 0 for 7 start from the field, and right now the Dolphins seemingly can do no wrong. They're 5 of 7, leading by 12, and we're just 4 minutes in.
Timberlake's last shot was missed. He got his own offensive rebound. This is Kopp now with the jump shot, and there's the first points of the day for the Lions.
Well, you'll take it however you can get it if you're a Molloy. And whether it be a second chance or a fluky bounce, the Lions on the board for the first time, trailing by 10.
That's a souvenir for someone in the front bleacher right there as Chestnut turns that one over. And we'll head to our first media timeout of today's action here in the first half. It's a great start for CSI. They lead this game 12-2 as we head to our first media timeout. 12-2 lead for CSI after our first media timeout. And Joe, we mentioned the Dolphins off to a great start from the floor in terms of shooting. The Lions just got their first field goal of this game, but they are 1 for 9 to start this game.
Yeah, poor shooting start for Molloy in this one, but they're only down 10. If they can get back on track quickly, there's plenty of game left.
They almost turned it over right there. That three-point shot is off the mark, and a really tough rebound made right there by Kone. This is Goldstein driving with the ball, tries to find Poulin, but turns it over. Now the Lions have numbers. Inside pass to Kopp, and he gets it to fall.
Well, I said it during the pregame, Nick. The Dolphins didn't turn it over much in the first meeting with Molloy, but if there's one way to ensure that the Lions can work their way back in, it's giveaways like that lead to fast break points.
Eric Tynes has the ball, gets the screen from Kone, gives it back to Kone. Kone goes up and is fouled on the way.
You can see it early in this game, Nick. The Dolphins are finding ways to get the ball to Asa Kone, moving toward the rim and taking a look out there from in terms of size.
Kone will go to the free throw line right here. Shoot his first 2 free throws of the day. That first one off the mark. It was really silent.
I can gauge how quiet it is in the tank remotely by how loudly I hear the shooter dribble the basketball over the free throw line. So let's see. I'll listen in now. I don't know if our audience gets the audio from in venue quite as clearly as I do. Boy, it is quiet, Nick. I hear the dribbles.
That one rolls out. Over 2 trip for Kone.
That sounded like a miss. You could hear the crowd with a collective groan.
Keep in mind, you're on a 5-second delay, so that must have been.
Well, I hear it as it happens. Only the video is delayed.
That's true. As that rebound is made by Kone, Lions continue to struggle from the floor. This is Benedict. He goes to the pull-up 3. Off the mark, and Wiggin tried to tip it back in, but no avail. And I think that one right there, Joe, that might be a play where if I'm Benedict, I'm probably just driving towards the rim because he had a really open look if he drove inside. As that shot misses, and it's rebounded by Benedict. He gives it up to Wiggin. Wiggin on the baseline. Takes the contact, goes up with it, and gets it to go.
Well, we've mentioned how good Mitchell Wiggin has been this year, and that 19-5 bench scoring mark, that was almost entirely Wiggin. I think, in fact, it was all Wiggin with the 19 points off the bench for the Dolphins against Molloy earlier this year. But there was a lot of hype around Andrew Benedict's shooting. He can drive as well, as that last jump shot went down.
That was Timberlake on that last jumper. He makes it an 8-point game once again. Goldstein out to Chestnut. Chestnut on the drive. Floater off the mark. And his rebound right there by Vasquez. And right there up on the lay-in is Timberlake on the other end. It's a quick transition. It's to a 6-point game.
And it's not just the turnovers that have gotten the Lions out in transition. The Dolphins missed there. Molloy up the floor quickly, and playing with a bit more pace seems to have helped them here.
Kone on the post move off the mark. It's Benedict that comes up with the rebound. Pull-up jumper. That one off the mark as well. And it's rebounded by Merchant. Vasquez has it. He drives towards the lane, and it is swatted away out of bounds, still in possession of the Lions.
And Nick, on that last offensive possession for CSI, you could see it. As soon as Kone caught the ball on the baseline and put his back to the basket, he was quickly doubled. He had a kick out, I believe it was to either Chestnut or Wiggin up top. He instead looked to shoot it, and the Dolphins never quite got the quality of look they would have had they kicked it out.
Stoppage in play right now as there's a conversation with the official towards Mitchell Wiggin and Merchant. Inbound does go to Merchant. Has some room, takes the pull-up jumper, and that one was just too easy for Bryce Merchant right there.
And the Dolphins just completely lost their assignments on defense there. Wiggin, you could see on the way up the floor as well, was trying to figure things out with his teammates.
Quick 6-0 run now from Molloy, puts them within 4. Chestnut out to Wiggin for 3. That one off the mark. Rebounded right there by Timberlake. This is Kopp. Lost the handle, and it's picked up by Oyakami. Chest it up the court to Benedict. Benedict goes up with it, and a nice move by Benedict. He gets the lay-in on the fast break.
Well, like I said before, Nick, he's not just an outside shooter. He can get to the basket and is pretty creative down there. He can finish the floater, he can pivot for that turnaround baby hook, and he can score moving downhill as well as he did on that fast break.
This is Merchant on the drive, and a really tough lay-in right there by Merchant.
Wiggin all over him, as Clyde Frazier would say. He was draped on him like a cheap suit.
Of course, Clyde doesn't wear cheap suits, as that one is a foul, called on the Dolphins, so they give it right back.
I think they got Oyakami for the foul.
As we have one more look before we head to our next media timeout, Dolphins force the turnover, and a nice job by Benedict. Reversing his hands, goes from the right hand to the left hand on the lay-in, as the Dolphins now lead 16-12 as we head to our next media timeout. And we're back from the tank. It's a 16-12 lead for CSI. 11:30 to go here in the first half. As this is Timberlake on the drive, kicked it out to Alford. Alford kicks it back to Timberlake. Timberlake with a really tough lay-in as he's fouled on the way up. Dolphins going with a very unique five out here, Joe, but I'll let you make your point.
Molloy has really calmed the storm a bit. It was a rough start for them. They were not shooting well, but off a couple of misses, they get up the floor quickly and score. They force some turnovers, get up the floor quickly off of those and score. And now they'll head to the line with a chance for a couple more as Nick holds his breath to maintain the silence in the tank.
Well, you were talking. I didn't want to cut you off while you were speaking.
Well, I think you were quite okay with it.
But the point I was making before is the unique five that the Dolphins had out here. As that second free throw was missed, rebound by Oyakami. You would probably have better knowledge of this before I do. I don't think we've seen this five out here at once on the court for the Dolphins. It's Chestnut, Martabano, Wiggin, Benedict, and Oyakami as the Dolphins turn it over.
I can tell you I haven't seen this five, Nick. That's for sure.
Wasn't sure if I missed it in the game on Thursday at Queens, but I venture to think this is the first time we've seen this five out here. It's a very unique look this late into the season. This is Merchant. Gives it up to Timberlake. Timberlake to Stokel. Stokel on the drive, but he was fouled before going with the jump shot by Benedict.
Molloy right back to the line, and I don't have foul tallies, Nick, but
no jump shot, no foul,
no shooting foul.
Sorry, excuse me.
So what's the foul tally looking like?
It
Nick?
is 4-2. CSI has 4 fouls. So the Dolphins are closing in and potentially giving the Lions some bonus opportunities early in the first half. Merchant gives it up to Timberlake. Back out to Merchant. Merchant on the drive on the baseline. Heavy contact from Wiggin. Gives it up to Vasquez. Vasquez's shot off the mark, and Oyakami comes up with the rebound. Goldstein up to Wiggin. Wiggin, nice move by Mitchell Wiggin. He gets it to fall.
Wiggin seemingly unstoppable all season when he gets going downhill toward the rim. And on the fast break, you might as well just get out of the way because Wiggin has been second to none in those situations.
An impressive move right there by Wiggin, going with the Euro step, and we'll get a second look at it right here. The Dolphins getting the ball. It's a great find from Goldstein and a beautiful up and under Euro right there by Wiggin to get that lay-in to go.
Well, if you're not careful in a situation like that, Wiggin can put you on a poster as well. People can easily forget how capable he is playing above the rim.
Vasquez knocked down that first free throw. As Eric Tynes will check back in. Joey Poulin also checked in as well. Second of two free throws upcoming here for Vasquez. And he gets both to fall. I'm going to have to fix that camera to my right, Joe. A lot of times in this game, they are rattling the bleachers a lot.
Have to send the muscle over there to calm them down.
Tynes on the drive, kicks it inside, but Benedict could not handle it, and it goes right back to Molloy.
Well, the Dolphins now beginning to have some turnover issues. That's their fifth. Molloy with just one.
That's one area that the Dolphins would like to fix, especially before the postseason starts on Wednesday. Merchant gives it up to Timberlake. Timberlake with the pull-up jump shot, and a really tough shot by Chase Timberlake. He puts his team within one. Goldstein now on the drive. Gets double teamed in the corner and turns it over. Up the court is Merchant. He kicks it out to Timberlake. Timberlake goes now with his own Euro, and Chase Timberlake answers the earlier Euro from Wiggin, and Molloy has the lead.
How about this bounce back from Molloy after a 12-0 start? The Lions have a 1-point lead.
Benedict's three off the mark. Offensive rebound by Wiggin. He goes up with a jump shot. Was looking for some contact, no call, and it's rebounded right there by Timberlake. Timberlake almost lost the handle, still has it. 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Merchant. He drives, gets contacted by Wiggin, goes up with the jump shot, and it's off the mark, rebounded by Benedict. Benedict up to Wiggin. Wiggin again faces the contact, and he is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line.
That's one way to slow down this Lions run if you're the Dolphins. Get to the free throw line and calm the momentum from Molloy just a bit. But, Nick, we mentioned that the turnover problem for the Dolphins, that was really an issue early in the season, is popping up again during this Lions stretch of a scoring run. But if you look at the last 10 games for CSI, they've turned the ball over more than 10 times in just 3 of their last 10. And it's actually quite surprising because in those last 10 games, the Dolphins have lost 3 times. So that's a big chunk of their losses this season. 3 of their 8 losses have come in the last 10 games. However, their turnovers have been as low as they have been all year during that stretch.
This is Cobb now with the ball. Dolphins back up by 1 after Wiggin went 2 for 2. Cobb faces the contact and is rejected by Kone. This is Wiggin now drives with it. Wiggin goes up with it, misses, and it is loose and rebounded by Poulin. Poulin throws it to Goldstein, and Goldstein with a heads-up play on the baseline, but it is still Molloy basketball as he stepped on the baseline before that.
Good effort there by Goldstein and the right idea, just couldn't quite nail the footwork. And that's going to go down as another Dolphins turnover.
Get a second look at that Kone block on the other end. But you're right, Joe, another turnover for CSI here in this first half. I believe now that's number 7 of this first half. This is Stokel. Wabadu gave it up now. This is Merchant. Merchant for 3. And that one rattles in for Merchant. It's a 2-point lead for the Lions.
Well, Molloy showing no signs of slowing down here, Nick, and I think that's the big concern if you're the Dolphins right now.
Tynes now has it after the pass from Goldstein. Pull-up jumper. Misses, rebounded by Merchant. Stokel will bring the ball up. Gives it up to Merchant. And Merchant clearly traveled on that one. And that will lead us to another media timeout here at the Tank. Lions have their first lead of the game in this one. They lead the Dolphins 22-20. .737 to go here in this first half between the Dolphins and the Lions. And for the first time today, Joe, the Lions lead the Dolphins 22-20. And a big reason why they've been able to get here into this point. 8 turnovers now for the Dolphins here in this first half.
Sorry, Nick, just answering a message from the scores table. Remember, I'm everywhere.
That's true. Just wanted to make sure I didn't lose you on the way. As Chestnut on the baseline gets the left-handed lay-in. Tie game at 22. Stokel gives it up. Now it's back to Stokel here on the baseline. Stokel gives it out. On the drive is Kopp, and Kopp gets a tough lay-in right there. 2-point lead once again for the Lions. As both teams starting to go back and forth these last couple minutes. Chestnut. Going to go with it somewhere. Gets it inside, and how about that find right there on the pick and roll? Chestnut finds Kone.
Pretty bounce pass from J.J. Chestnut to Asa Kone. And when the Dolphins have gotten the ball inside to Kone, that's when they've had their most success at the offensive end. That really forces the Lions defense to collapse, and it opens up the three-point shooting.
Look, at eerily similar to the women's game you and I called earlier in terms of the Dolphins trying to get points in this game. Stokel will take the three. Off the mark, rated by Tynes. Chestnut brings it up. Gives it up to Tynes. Tynes for three. That one's off the mark. And it's rebounded right there by Timberlake. Timberlake, he's contacted by Kone. That's now 6 fouls on the Dolphins.
Well, the Dolphins, since about that 10 or 11 minute mark, have slowed down the fouling a bit. But as you mentioned before, it seems like Molloy is headed for a bonus situation at some point during this first half.
Next foul for CSI will award the Lions a 1-and-1. Inbound pass to Kopp. Kopp on the post, gives it up. This is Merchant with it, and Merchant's had himself a nice first half. He now has double digits. Correction, he has 9. Timberlake is at 9 as well. Have to keep looking at the live stats, Joe. It's at least a little bit better this game in terms of it being up to date.
Well, it's not updating on its own. It's a mandatory refresh.
I got it. Chestnut gives it up to Goldstein. Goldstein thought about the pull-up jumper. Gives it up to Chestnut for three. That one off the mark. Rebounded by Merchant. Dolphins has just not been able to find that outside shot so far. As Kopp's threes, or Timberlake's three, excuse me, off the mark. Rebounded by Chestnut. Chestnut to Goldstein. Goldstein back to Chestnut. Chestnut looking for somewhere to go. Gives it up to Kone. Kone to Goldstein. Back to Poulin. Poulin for three. Splash.
Well, Nick, before that, the Dolphins have hit just one of their last 6 threes. Poulin ends that run of poor three-point shooting and gives the Dolphins the lead.
How about on the other end, Asa Kone with an incredible rejection. Goldstein goes up with it, capped the basket, and the foul.
How about that acrobatic finish by Aaron Goldstein? We saw that a lot in the highlight reel during our Buffalo Wild Wings game rewind, and so nice we'll show it twice as Goldstein heads to the line here. He's been phenomenal for the Dolphins. Whenever called upon, that's his first bucket here in this game, but you know if needed down the stretch, he's always one of their go-to options at the offensive end, and he finally gets into the scoring column with that finish.
Incredible finish right there by Goldstein. He'll go to the free throw line. And he knocks down that free throw to convert the and one three-point play. Dolphins now up 4.
Keep in mind, Nick, Goldstein had 31 at Molloy earlier in the season.
Would love to maybe duplicate that here in this game. This one goes to Timberlake. Timberlake with the high arcing shot misses, and it was rebounded by Kone. Goldstein has it. Goldstein will slow it up, about to hit the 4:20 mark here in the first half. Chestnut. Gives it back up to Goldstein. Goldstein for 3. Off the mark. Rebounded by Stokel. Stokel outside to Merchant. And Merchant is fouled by Goldstein, and that's a 17th foul now on the Dolphins.
Well, Nick, I'm taking a moment here to try and find if we have a direct link to this stream. I think they were looking for it at the scores table, and they've come to me looking for it. So I'm going to try and get that sorted out. Watch that camera over there, Nick.
I'm watching it.
I hear those noises.
Yeah. I'm watching it.
All right.
Second free throw goes. Merchant goes 2 for 2 from the line. His team now within 2, 30-28. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Goldstein has it, gives it up to Tynes. Back to Goldstein. Now up to Kone. Kone driving on the post move, still looking for some help. Kone still has it. He pulls up with a jump shot, and he gets it to fall. How many times have we seen that happen this season, Joe? An incredible job right there by Kone.
Not many, Nick, but Kone, who typically goes for that hook shot on the inside, fools the defense there with a little step back and the fade.
Stokel rejected on the other end by Eric Tynes. And that will lead us to our final media timeout of this first half. Well, we mentioned it. We don't really see it very too often from Asa Kone this season, but he gets a pull-up jump shot right here to put the Dolphins up 4 heading into our final media of the first half. CSI leads us 32-28. .330 to go here in the first half. Dolphins lead the Lions 32-28. Our next stoppage will bring up the score between Queens and UDC. In terms of seeding right now, in terms of who the Dolphins potentially could play in the first round of the playoffs. Stokel with a really tough shot right there. took some contact. He gets that floater to fall. His team's back within 2. Chestnut the Tynes, now back to Chestnut. Chestnut up to Poulin. And Poulin forces that pass inside to Kone. Turned over, forced by Merchant. This is Cobb now with it. Goes up and gets it to go. And the game is tied at 32.
Molloy has really thrived off of turnovers. They've thrived in transition. Already 10 points off turnovers for the Lions.
Fouls called on the other end on Stokel. That's now 5 fouls on the Lions. And for the Dolphins now, that's their 9th turnover of this first half.
And that last basket was 12 points off turnovers, Nick, and 6 have come on the fast break.
Inbound pass goes to Chestnut. Chestnut has it, goes on the drive, kicks it inside to Kone. Kone now double teamed on the inside, looking for help, and call for double dribble on that play. Nonetheless, another turnover for CSI, making now 10 in this first half.
And you can see it, Nick. Every time Kone gets the ball anywhere near the basket, the entire Lions defense swarms in. The Dolphins are going to have to space it out and knock down some shots from the outside because it's clear Molloy is not going to let Kone beat them.
Cobb tried to force that pass inside to Vasquez, but the Lions turn it over for now the 3rd time in this half.
It's been a pretty clean half for Molloy in terms of protecting the basketball, but they got off to a really poor shooting start. That's what put them in a hole. They've now fixed that, up around 41%. The Dolphins a bit better, but the turnovers have kept Molloy even.
Chestnut gives it up to Kone. Kone inside, and he forces it to Chestnut. 11 turnovers now for the Dolphins. 3-point shot for Timberlake off the mark. And a loose ball out of bounds, and it goes to CSI.
And something else we touched on during the pregame, Nick, is the job the Dolphins did on the glass in the meeting between these two teams. They're once again doing a great job on the glass in this game, a 23-14 advantage on the boards.
Lions now 1 of 8 in this first half from the 3-point line. Under 2 minutes now to go here in the first half. This is Kone. Gives it up to Goldstein. Goldstein to Chestnut. Chestnut for 3. Splash. Big shot by Chestnut. Dolphins back up 3. This is Cobb now with it. Gives it up to Stokel. This is Timberlake. Dolphins go into that zone defense as Merchant takes the 3. It's off the mark. Rebounded by Goldstein. Goldstein to Benedict. Benedict kicks it out to Poulin. Poulin for 3. Splash.
JP3 from the corner. How many times have we said that, Nick?
A lot of times we've said it this season and over his Dolphins career. A nice find for Benedict. Back-to-back triples put the Dolphins up 6 as there's a kickball violation called. Get a quick look before this inbound pass at that last JP3. Corner triple right there from Poulin to put the Dolphins up 6. As we're now under a minute to go here in the first half. Stokel has the ball. Tries to kick it inside to Merchant, and he turns it over. Forced by Poulin. Chestnut has it, gives it up to Benedict. Benedict on the baseline, gets it, the fall, count the basket, and the foul.
Benedict aggressive to the basket. This time in the half court, we saw him convert in transition earlier, but don't overlook his ability to finish inside as part of the Dolphins' half court offense. He goes aggressively along the baseline, and the nice feed sets him up for 2 more points in the paint.
He'll now go to the free throw line, try to convert the and 1. And Benedict does convert the and 1, and not only that, Joe, the Dolphins convert themselves an opportunity to go 2 for 1, getting that first shot up. 12-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. This is Stokel with the ball. Gives it up to Vasquez. Vasquez inside to Stokel. Stokel outside now to Timberlake. Back to Stokel. Stokel for 3. That one off the mark, rated by Kone. Dolphins get hold for the final shot. And the Dolphins will take a timeout to try to draw up a play before the end of the first half.
Well, very quickly, speaking of that last basket scored by Benedict, J.J. Chestnut picked up the assist on that one. And the Dolphin guards, we know, are capable facilitators, but it's not many teams that have two guards coming in to a regular season finale with over 115 assists each. And that's the case right now with Chestnut and Goldstein. Chestnut came in with 130, Goldstein with 116. So you look at that over 30 games, and you're at about just over 4 assists per game for Chestnut, and very close to that, probably right on 4 assists per game for Goldstein as well.
And for those two players, for Chestnut, he right now is at 8 points and 6 assists. He's approaching a double-double early in the first half, and Kone also approaching that mark. He has 8 points and 7 rebounds, so it's been a very impressive first half, especially in these last couple minutes. The Dolphins were at one point tied 32-32. They now are up 9 with 13 seconds to go. Chestnut has the ball. Dolphins will get the last shot opportunity. Benedict has it now. Goes up with it, and that one was a wild errant shot. Cobb now has it. He goes for the half-court heave, and that one is well off the mark. And that will conclude the first half here at the Tank. The Dolphins go on a 9-0 run to end this first half. They lead the Lions 41-32. I'll be joined on the court for the TLC Physical Therapy halftime report by head coach TJ Tibbs. All right, we are joined on the court by head coach TJ Tibbs. And TJ, first off, looking at this first half, what are some of the things you're looking to improve going into the second half, trying to hold on to this lead?
Our communication. I mean, Molloy is great. I think Joe Confries came in his first year, and he's done a tremendous job, just like he did in high school. You can coach at any level. He's a tremendous coach at Holy Trinity for years, and he's done a tremendous job this year. So Molloy puts a lot of pressure on you, especially in transition. They're really good. They're one of the best transition teams that we've played all year. So we have to be better with our communication. So last time we played them, they didn't have Bryce Merchant. He's one of the best scorers in the league, and he's a good chess piece. So, the way they're using him when we're playing man-to-man, putting some pressure on our defense. But if we communicate, we could just be in better spots. So I want to see us communicate better. We have a game plan, but, great offensive players and great offensive teams put a lot of stress and pressure on your game plan. So we just got to be ready to adjust possession to possession. And I thought we were really sloppy on offense. And, credit to them for sure. But, some unforced turnovers for sure. And, big day, senior day, but senior day happens every year. We can't make an excuse. We got to be a little bit better execution-wise.
And speaking to me of the importance of senior day, especially for some of the seniors who will take part in the first home playoff game here at the Tank next week on Wednesday.
Man, the three of them have been so important to our program. With JJ being a 4-year senior, 4-year seniors here at CSI are the most precious people that could come through the program. So he has been here. He's been the only kid in my career that I've coached for 4 years. Michael Yakami as well, but he's been hurt. So I've been through everything with JJ. But Eric Tynes and Ace are coming from other institutions that we respect and coming in here and adding a lot to our program. We've been very grateful for them. So I'm grateful for the three of them, their families, them trusting me, coming in here. They're really CSI guys, and that's the biggest thing. So it's great to earn a home game and to be able to do that, but we got to win this game. Right now we're in a battle with a really good team that is in the playoffs as well. So this feels like a playoff game, and, the best way to honor the seniors is to win. I always say that.
All right, thank you so much, TJ, for your time, and good luck in the second half.
Thanks for having me.
That was head coach TJ Tibbs with the TLC Physical Therapy halftime report. When we come back from the Tank, second half action between the Dolphins and the Lions. CSI leads this one, 41-32.
Cobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Cobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And Joe Foreman and Nicholas Pavona rejoining you for the second half. Joe, I did it again. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nick, I appreciate you allowing me to lead the introduction, but I am Joe Foreman.
Yeah, you are Joe Foreman.
You are Nicholas Pavona.
At this point,
our audience is confused.
At this point, I'm also confused at this point. A lot of moving parts right now here at the Tank. But speaking of moving parts, the Dolphins go into the second half with a 9-point lead, Joe, and they really moved the ball efficiently to end that first half. They went on a 9-0 run to conclude the first half after the game was tied at 32 apiece.
And I think you mentioned the ball movement, and that was appropriate because the Dolphins had 16 made field goals in the first 20 minutes. They had assists on 12 of them. The negative is that they turned the ball over 11 times, and they have to clean that up.
TJ Tips talked about that. A lot of turnovers for CSI in the first half, but that has not plagued them so far. They have a 9-point lead to start the second half. Cobb 3-point shot off the mark, rebounded by Poulin. And they go up the court. Dolphins will have numbers if they push it. Upward pass to Tynes. He goes up with it and gets the lay-in to fall.
Yeah, it feels like we didn't say the name of Eric Tynes much after the first couple of minutes. He did play 13 minutes in that first half. That's his first bucket since the opening minutes.
Inside pass to Timberlake. He gives up to Alford. Alford goes up with it and misses. He grabs his own offensive rebound, and he gets a second chance points.
It's not often you miss a shot, rebound it on the other side of the rim and put it in, but that's what Alford did right there, and Molloy is back to within single digits.
9-point lead again for the Dolphins. Pass to Goldstein, long 2. Off the mark, reared by Alford. Now the Lions have numbers. Pass to Merchant, and Merchant gets another tough basket to fall.
That's a really tough shot around Chestnut over Kone. And going back to the last Dolphins possession very quickly, Nick, the Lions have really done a good job slowing down Aaron Goldstein, who torched them for 31 last time these two teams faced off.
As is an ET3. That falls for Eric Tynes.
Well, Tynes has the size advantage, and it really doesn't matter who they put on him because you put your big on Kone, and the Lions generally are a pretty small team out there, and they just don't have the match for Tynes at 6'7".
Pass on the baseline, Alfred kicks it to Merchant. And Merchant's shot will rattle in.
A lack of size hasn't stopped Molloy from doing some good things around the basket in this game. We've seen some nice finishes. They now have 22 of their 38 in the paint.
8-point game. Inside pass to Kone. And Kone is fouled underneath.
Make it 24 of 38, the point from Molloy as Kone draws the foul. And right now, that seems to be the only real answer for Kone around the basket. Just swarm him and hope to get him to pass, maybe commit a foul. But once Kone catches, if he's given any time to work, he's made something of it.
Chestnut now has it. He drives towards the rim, misses. Offensive rebound by Kone, and Kone gets the putback.
Who's going to slow him down on the offensive glass, Nick? I'm not sure there's any way you can keep him off the offensive boards.
Back to a double-digit lead for CSI. This is Alfred with the ball, gives it up to Merchant. Inside to Timberlake. Timberlake will now take the 3, or a correction, long 2. Off the mark, still a loose ball, picked up by Poulin. Goldstein now has it. He drives towards the rim. Left-handed lay-in, good for Goldstein.
How much of that did we see in that highlight reel, especially in the second half of that first meeting between these two teams, Nick?
An incredible move by Goldstein and a really tough lay-in going towards that left-hander. Alfred's fadeaway jump shot good. It's back to a 10-point game. Lions could really use a stop right here to try to cut this deficit. Goldstein gives up to Chestnut. Careless pass, still loose. And the Dolphins give it up right there as his foul was called on Chestnut after he turned it over. Another mistake for CSI in this game. Still have a stoppage on the other end. Yes, the inbound pass will go to Timberlake. This time it's Stokel. This is Timberlake's jump shot, and Timberlake will make this an 8-point game. He's had some big shots for the Lions here in this one. It's back to single digits. Kone gives it up to Goldstein. Goldstein for three. Splash.
Just seems like every time the Lions score a basket, Nick, the Dolphins have an answer. This time it's Aaron Goldstein, and if he heats up, Molloy could find themselves in big trouble.
AG3 puts CSI now up 11. Merchant kicks it inside. This is Kopp. Kopp thought about it, tries to kick it out to Stokel. Was tipped on the way, now goes to Alford. Alford fouled on the baseline by Tynes as we head to our first media timeout. Dolphins now have an 11-point lead as they get a big three from AG. Aaron Goldstein knocks down the triple. It's a 53-42 CSI lead as we head to the first media timeout of the second half. .53 to go here in the second half. Dolphins lead 53-42 as the inbound pass goes to Kopp. Kopp almost lost it, still has it. Gives it up to Stokel. Stokel now gives it up to Alford. And Alford will put the Lions back within single digits.
Molloy just won't go away, Nick. The Dolphins are going to have to either continue to do what they've done so well at the offensive end here in the second half or string together some stops.
Been an incredible offensive showing from these two teams here in the second half. As right on cue, Joe, there's a missed three from Chestnut, rebounded right there by Timberlake.
His first missed three of the game.
Merchant's outside pass to Kopp. Off the mark, rebounded by Benedict. They try to trap him. He gives it up to Chestnut. Chestnut to Wiggin. Wiggin goes with it and gets the lay-in to fall.
And if you look at where Wiggin caught that ball, Nick, he caught it down around the corner in front of the Dolphins bench. There was no defender within 5 feet of him in any direction as that last three-pointer goes down, and very quickly it's back to single digits again.
That was Chase Timberlake once again on the triple. Goldstein puts them back up by 10 as the back-and-forth contest continues.
And, Nick, the Lions are in a very weird position where they're a bit undersized, but then they're a bit oversized when it comes to defending Aaron Goldstein.
Kopp for three off the mark. Loose ball is rebounded by Chestnut. Dolphins have numbers if they push. Chestnut outside to Benedict for three. Off the mark. And it is Wiggin that gets the rebound. Goldstein. They will slow it up now. 12 on the shot clock. Kone now has it. Kone on the drive. Spin move on the post. Off the mark. And it's Chestnut on the putback.
It's such a weird position the Lions have found themselves in, Nick. They're undersized when it comes to defending Kone. They have pretty good size, 1 to 5, at least in terms of outsizing the Dolphins' guards, but that hasn't really helped them in terms of keeping the Dolphins out of the paint.
Kopp's shot was off the mark. Goldstein, though, throws a turnover back to Kopp. It's Stokel that has it. He kicks it out to Alford for three, and Alford puts the Lions back within single digits.
That's good patience by Molloy there on the break off the Dolphins' turnover. Could have easily went up with a tough shot in the paint. They find Alfred open in the corner, and it's back to single digits yet again with just under 13 and a half to play.
Chestnut has it. And he gets the contact, gets the and one. It's back to double digits again.
Dolphins just looking unstoppable right now, Nick. They're asserting their will here in the second half. And CSI with that last make improves to 9 of 14 from the field, 50% from downtown as well, and a chance for one more for J.J. Chestnut.
Nice start to the second half for Chestnut as well. As he knocks in that free throw, Dolphins now have a 12-point lead. They go with the half-court trap. That was Timberlake that has it. He still has it now. 13-minute mark here in the second half. Alfred almost lost it. Gives it back up to Timberlake. Timberlake pull-up three. Way off the mark. And the Fanatics will let him know about that jump shot.
Well, they let me know, Nick. I can hear it loud and clear as if I'm there with you. But once again, Nick, another story in this game. The Dolphins bench, 13 points. Molloy's bench with just 2. 4 CSI starters are in double figures with 10 points as well. Kone, Goldstein, Chestnut, and Tynes all with 10.
Wiggin on the drive is fouled by Vasquez.
And check that, Nick. The live stats, once again, not quite caught up. Chestnut now with 13 after that last and one in the free throw. Vasquez, meanwhile, is the only Lions bench player to score, and he is without a made field goal, just 2 points on a couple of free throws.
That first free throw rattles in for Wiggin. Dolphins now up 13. And that gives them their largest lead of this game. Second free throw off the mark, and it's Stokel that grabs the rebound. Stokel has it, gives it up to Timberlake. Timberlake back to Stokel. Stokel pull up at the three, gives it up to Merchant. Merchant cannot get the floor to fall, and it's rebounded by Chestnut. Chestnut to Goldstein. Goldstein on the drive, gets the contact, and gets the lay-in.
Goldstein really beginning to heat up right now, Nick. He's getting aggressive, going to the basket. And the Lions haven't had an answer for him here in the second half.
And you said it before, if Goldstein starts to heat up, it could be really tough for the Lions to get back into this game. Vasquez passes it inside. This is now Alfred with it on the inside. He gets contacted, and he'll go to the free throw line. A lead to our next media timeout. Before we go to that media timeout, we got a second look at that last play for Aaron Goldstein. Nice move towards the basket. Gets that lay-in to go and gives CSI their largest lead of the game. They lead this one 65-50. .11:56 to go here in the second half. Dolphins lead this game 65-50. And Joe, while we were in that media timeout, you were bringing me along the scores of the other action in the ECC today.
All right, so taking a look around the conference, we mentioned the Dolphins are locked into the 3, Molloy locked into the 4, and D'Youville locked into the 5. However, there is still much to be decided at the bottom of the standings in the 6th seed. Roberts and UDC both competing for that 6th seed. UDC needs a win and a Roberts loss. Roberts needs either a win or a UDC loss. UDC up 4 on Queens. Roberts down 7 early against D'Youville.
That's something to watch out as this day goes on. Benedict's three-point shot off the mark, and is rebounded right there by Stokel. Stokel has it, gives it up to Kopp. Kopp now gives it up to Merchant. Merchant gives it up to Alford. Alford back to Merchant. Merchant thought about the 3, pulls up for the long 2, and gets that one to go. DJ Tibbs talked about it. Merchant didn't play the last time these two teams played, Joe, but he has had a really big impact in keeping Molloy in this one.
No question about it, Nick, and without him, they're not even close in this game as we approach the final 11 minutes.
Goldstein has it. Gives it up to Benedict. Benedict now gives it up to Chestnut. Chestnut on the drive, gets the contact, and he will go to the free throw line.
We haven't seen too many free throws in this game, just 6 from Molloy and 8 for the Dolphins thus far, though again, those numbers are probably outdated considering our live stats are not pushing. And it is 9 for the Dolphins and 8 for the Lions thus far. But you mentioned Merchant. He has 17 points, by far the most efficient Lion from the field at 7 of 11. Alford next closest at 4 of 7, but Molloy has needed every one of those baskets, and they're going to need a lot more where that came from as the Dolphins go ahead by 12 on the Chestnut free throw.
They'll make it number 13 right there. CSI up now 13. And I think, also, Joe, let's keep it that way from the officials. I have a quick sign-off afterwards. I'm making my way towards MSG tonight, so let's just keep it that way from the officials in this second half.
You're quite the St. John superfan.
Some might say that. And,
Any upgrades for you tonight?
I don't think I'll be able to pull that off like I did last week, but they better upgrade their shooting after what they did this past week.
Yeah, it wasn't a great final. I didn't watch the game, but you told me it didn't go well, and I checked the final score.
Cobb knocks down that 3. It's back to an 11-point game. Yeah, Joe, let's just say that they did not make a field goal attempt for the final 17 minutes of the second half.
What?
I kid you not.
Wow.
Whole second half, they did not have a field goal for the last 17 minutes.
Not good.
Not at all. Tynes will shoot the 3 off the mark, and a foul is called on Kone. It was one of those games where you turned it off pretty much at halftime, where they were only down 13.
You didn't have that option.
You know what it was? Well, no, thankfully they were on the road for that game.
Okay. I thought it was the game you attended.
No, it was the one that just happened this week. Okay. Thankfully, it was one of those where they're down 13, and sometimes they can make a run, but you knew the way they were shooting, they were not coming back in that game. As Vasquez gets the offensive rebound, gets the putback, it's back to a single-digit game once again. Lions staying alive in this game. Goldstein gets the screens. Gives it up to Chestnut. Chestnut back to Goldstein. Goldstein now for the triple. Splash.
Yeah, really inexplicable, Nick. They kind of sagged off on him as he tried to use that screen, and immediately AG made them pay.
And right on the other end, it's Kopp that gets the lay-in, and we keep saying it, Joe. Every time the Dolphins respond, the Lions respond to the other end.
Yeah, I think when head coach TJ Tibbs goes back and reviews this game film with his team, he's going to say that too many made baskets turned into a quick score the other way.
Goldstein has it, has another long 3. That one rolls off, reared by Kopp. Almost did it again right there. They gave him a little bit too much space as Chestnut forces the turnover. But he tried to kick it out but could not hang on to it, and he turns it over to Timberlake. Timberlake tried to get it over to Merchant. He gives it over now. Vasquez. 3-point shot for Kopp. Off the mark. And a foul underneath the rim before that putback attempt by Merchant.
Well, the fans don't like it, I can hear.
Aaron Tynes is called for the foul, and Yeah, I think the Fanatics are not too happy with that foul call.
They might be a bit biased.
Just a bit biased. You and I, though, never biased.
Never.
Never that. Foul trouble now for both teams. CSI with 5 team fouls. Lions with 4 team fouls. Inbound pass goes to Kopp. He pulls up with a jump shot. This time is off the mark. Rebounded by Kone. Goldstein will bring it up. Gets a screen. He pulls up from 3. Splash.
Well, Nick, Aaron Goldstein, after just a couple of points in the first half, has really erupted here in the second half. And if he keeps this up, I just don't see any way Molloy can erase a double-digit deficit.
It felt like as soon as, it was time was ever for Goldstein to finally get caught catching fire as Merchant knocks down another triple, and the Lions again respond. They now trail by 10 as we head to a timeout call by the Lions, and it will extend into the media. It's a 10-point lead for CSI, and Joe mentioned it before, but Aaron Goldstein starting to catch fire here in the second half. Here's another one of those AG triples he's had here in the second half. His team up 10. .8:13 to go here in the second half. Dolphins lead back to 10. As we keep mentioning, Joe, every time one of these teams responds, the other one responds right back. Goldstein got the 3 to put them up 13, and immediately on the other end it was Merchant, then put them within 10. Wiggin kicks it inside. Benedict cannot get the reverse lay-in, and it is rebounded right there by Vasquez. He gets it up to Kopp. Kopp back to Vasquez. Vasquez goes up with the pump fake and gets that lay-in to fall. Back to single digits once again. Goldstein brings the ball up. He's up to Poole. Back to Goldstein. Goldstein for 3. Off the mark and rebounded by Merchant. Poole call for the foul on Timberlake. That's now 16 fouls on the Dolphins. And we will head to our second to last media timeout of this second half. It's back to a single-digit lead once again for CSI as they lead this one 73-65. 7:29 to go here in the second half. It's a single-digit lead once again for CSI. Lions continuing to battle back into this game. Vasquez has the ball, gives it up to Cobb. He gives it up to Timberlake. Timberlake gives up to Vasquez. Vasquez now on the drive. Goes up with it, cannot get it to fall. Lions were looking for a foul, and it's rebounded by Kone.
And before that shot, Nick, the Lions were shooting 56% in the second half, 33 points. Any other time, you would suspect they would have erased their halftime deficit. Dolphins have been just a bit better from downtown. That's the difference.
Chestnut for three. Splash.
Oh, there's another, Nick. The Dolphins have had timely three-pointer after timely three-pointer in this game. They now have 5 in each half and lead by 9.
Vasquez shot off the mark, rated by Kone. 11-point lead once again for CSI. Approaching the 6-minute mark here in the second half. Chestnut to Wiggin. Wiggin with the spin move. Cannot get it to fall. Kone gets the putback.
There's Asa Kone on the offensive glass yet again, and the Lions just don't have anybody to match up with him. If a shot goes up and he's already in the low post, he's probably coming down with that board.
That last pass was tipped out of bounds by the Dolphins. Remains in possession of the Lions. Inbound pass will come from Timberlake. He gives it up to Alford. Back out to Timberlake, now to Merchant. Merchant with the pull-up jumper. Off the mark, reared by Kone. This is Wiggin now on the drive, and he is contacted on the way up, and he will head to the free throw line. As we're going to look at that Asa Kone putback off the miss from Wiggin. You mentioned it, Joe. It's been really tough for the Lions to really guard him in this game in terms of getting the rebounds. Kone now in this game with 12 and 12 in this matchup. He is one of 2 Dolphins with a double-double. J.J. Chestnut with 18 points and 10 assists.
They just don't have a size match for him, Nick.
And Chestnut grabs the rebound off the miss and gets the putback. A very rare 3-point trip for the Dolphins right there. They now lead by 16 in this game. How often have we seen a missed free throw result in a putback lay-in as the Dolphins force a turnover?
CSI really asserting themselves down the stretch of this game. Molloy making a brief run to try and get back in this one. They cut it to single digits for a couple of minutes, but the Dolphins, with a timely three-pointer to get their own run started, now lead it by 16 and just over 5 minutes to play.
Wiggin, tough basket, and Kone would have loved to have had that dunk on the miss, but Wiggin was fouled before that happened. How about the seniors today, Joe, on their final game of their regular season careers? Chestnut with 20 points, 10 assists. Kone with 12 points, 13 rebounds. Eric Tynes has added 10 points as well. It's been a very strong evening for these seniors.
And you love to see that if you're a fan of the Dolphins. But I think anything short of a berth in the conference semis would be a disappointment, and you know this team has aspirations far beyond that.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Joe, because we also, obviously, looking at the conference tournaments, we've talked about those, but for this team, they want to make the NCAA tournament as well. And we've already seen the regional rankings for this Dolphins team and where they need to be in terms of getting to the tournament. There's an opportunity for them there, but they'll have to make a run in the ECC tournament itself.
It's really hard to say. We're not in any way involved with the rankings, and we just receive that information and share it.
Right.
But you would suspect that if the Dolphins qualify for the conference championship, given the way the seeding has played out, the Dolphins are going to be in the 3-4, or make that the 3-6 game. The winner of the 3-6 game goes on to play the 2 seed. That's St. Thomas Aquinas College. So in order to make the conference championship, they would have to beat Stack a second time. I think if they do that, assuming, of course, they close out this game, that's going to be enough to get them in. But
How about Goldstein, Chestnut, again. Go ahead, Joe.
I think a berth in the conference championship might be enough, even if they don't win.
I think that's the beauty I like about college basketball, too. You know, you and I discussing, it's the quote-unquote bracketology that these resumes for a lot of these teams trying to get to the tournament. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. The Dolphins, I think, for them to get in, would have to make it to the ECC championship game just to put an opportunity to get another win over Stack on their resume if they're able to do so.
Yeah, you never really know, but I got to look at the most recent rankings. I had them saved on my phone somewhere. Let me see if I can find them very quickly. And if I can, I'll break down where we were as of the last ranking. All right, so we got it. On February 25th, it was Damon 1, followed by Felician, Bentley, St. Anselm, Assumption, Adelphi, St. Michael's, Stack, CSI, and Pace. Now, Pace beat CSI earlier this year. As for the teams ahead of the Dolphins, Stack 8, the Dolphins are 1-1 against them. They beat St. Michael's, they're 7, and they beat Adelphi, they are 6. So with one more win against Stack, I think the Dolphins probably have enough to make it. Based on these rankings, the Dolphins, of course, have not lost since these rankings have been published. If their next loss were to come in the conference championship, I think that's good enough. Of course, this team very much believes they could go on to win a conference championship, and that's the end goal when all's said and done.
Both free throws made by Timberlake. It's a 16-point lead again for CSI. 4:30 to go in regulation. Goldstein gives it up to Kone. Kone back out to Chestnut, and the Dolphins will take some time off the clock. Chestnut on the drive, goes up with it, and Chestnut's senior day continues to go well for him. He's got 22 points.
Well, it's been a real statement game for J.J. Chestnut. If there was any doubt that the Dolphins were going to go all out to win this one, those were erased pretty quickly. You have to like the way they played here in their final regular season game as Chestnut adds another rebound and a long outlet.
3-point shot for Kopp goes in. And it's a 15-point game again. And that's something to note, Joe. Glad you brought that up. Chestnut closing in on potentially getting a triple-double in this game. If he's able to do so, he needs 2 rebounds for it. Pulling inside
possible.
to Wiggin, and he is rejected by Merchant. Alfred goes up with the ball. Contacted by Chestnut, and he will go to the free throw line.
Trailing by 15. If you're a Molloy, you love to stop the clock and potentially take some points off that lead. But if you're the Dolphins, there's no reason to try and play fast. Comfortable lead, 3.5 to go. Even with 2 made free throws here, if you're the Dolphins, you can afford to take your time. But we'll stay right here, Nick, entering a media timeout.
Yeah.
I have the scores as well.
Me too, yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
All right, so in the UDC Queens game, the Firebirds need a win to stay alive in the playoff chase. They lead by 10 with 4.5 to go, 66-56. In the other game of note, Roberts Wesleyan would need a win to clinch the 6th seed if UDC closes out their win over Queens. Roberts trailed by 7 early. However, they now lead by 4. It's a 12-3 run for the Redhawks, if my math is correct. I think it was 22-15, so a 14-3 run for Roberts right now as they lead D'Youville by a score of 29-25. The eventual 6th seed comes to the Tank on Wednesday night.
And you and I will be here back together at the Tank for that matchup on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. tip-off for that game. And we saw earlier today the women's basketball team clinch a playoff spot. They will be on the road for their first matchup in the ECC tournament, also at 7 p.m. So you and I will be making sure to give any updates for that game as we call the men's side of action here at the Tank on Wednesday night.
Should be a lot of fun. I don't think that we've ever had 2 playoff games on the same night with us covering one of them. We have had 2 playoff games in the same night, I believe. Though, Nick, I don't know if you could correct me. A couple of years back, I feel like the men and the women played on 2 separate days.
I believe, yeah, I believe so.
They did. I think they played a day apart.
I remember
I think that was 2 years ago.
And I think we were at baseball, if I'm not mistaken, when that happened.
Well, you and I were at baseball when the women played in the semis one year.
Yes.
However, I believe I was in Florida with CSI softball when the two teams played on separate days.
Right.
I think they were back-to-back days.
Dolphins trying to bring the ball up, trying to avoid the violation. Chestnut gives it up to Goldstein. They get it up. And they foul Goldstein. That's a very interesting decision right there for the Lions, because now the Dolphins will go to the free throw line for the 1-on-1.
Yeah, I think if you're Molloy, you're doing the math right now. 3:20 to go. Could you play it out? Yes, but if you can get a miss on the front end of the 1-on-1, it might be a risk worth taking. So I think that's the mindset there. Go for the steal, and if you commit a foul, so be it.
Goldstein at the free throw line. Will knock in the front end of the 1-on-1. Dolphins now have 14. Goldstein will go 2 for 2 from the charity strike. It is a 15-point CSI lead again with 3:16 to go in the second half. Almost said differently, Joe. I'm sure you know where that
Quarter?
we have a wedgie, Joe. We have a wedgie. And yes, I almost said fourth quarter.
Wouldn't be the first time somebody's made that mistake on headset. I'm not going to name names, but if it was me, I probably deleted it from the history books.
It's in the lost files. You and I doing some detective work this week, trying to find some previous broadcasts from over the years as well.
We did.
Chestnut again with another tough lay-in. This has been Chestnut's night. He's got 26 points now. Joe, I promise I will not be singing Chestnuts roasting on open fire.
Ooh.
I don't know if that was an oof. It's not my call to make.
I was looking forward to it. What do you mean?
Upward pass. Dolphins have numbers. Wiggin on the alley-oop. They cannot finish. The Tank wanted that one to go down. And on the other end, it will be free throws coming for the Lions.
Well, Nick, you mentioned the scoring total for J.J. Chestnut with 26 points. He is closing in on a career high. Previous career high against UDC in 2023. He had 28 in that game. That was a playoff game, if I'm not mistaken. That was at UDC. In the playoffs, he played 40 minutes. That was CSI's first ever appearance in the conference playoffs.
As Timberlake goes 2 for 2 from the line. It's back to 15. Inbound pass goes to Chestnut, and he turns it over. Timberlake has it, goes up with it. Off the mark, Chestnut has his 9th rebound. Poulin brings it up. Dolphins have the numbers. Goldstein from 3. Splash.
And Nick, that may be the dagger. It's another AG 3, this time from the corner. And up 18 with just over 2 minutes to play. The Dolphins are firmly in control.
Vasquez with the tough jump shot. How about that shot right there by Vasquez? 16-point deficit. Under 2 to go. As Chestnut is fouled. Or excuse me, Goldstein is fouled. I was thinking about Chestnut trying to potentially get that triple-double.
Speaking of Goldstein, he now has 23. I'm checking in for an update from CSI softball, going to see if we can get a final.
Fanatics. Oh, man. You know what the worst part is, Joe? I'm going to hear a lot more of this later at MSG. And I think it will be way worse than what we're hearing now.
Well, I was going to say, will you be contributing to that?
No. Well, the thing is, they're playing Villanova. And, of course, what just happened there? Oh, my goodness. Wait, Joe, did you notice that? It was a 1-and-1. The Lions did not rebound on the play. I don't remember ever seeing that they are confused as just as I am. It was a 1-and-1 on the other end. The Lions didn't rebound the ball. They thought it was 2 free throws.
Well, it's hard to believe all 4 of them thought that.
And how about that shot? Alford gets the fadeaway falling jump shot, count the basket, and one.
There's no quit in this Lions team, Nick, but the Dolphins in the second half were just too good shooting it. And I think the big difference maker for CSI was the three-point shooting.
Even Goldstein initially didn't go for the rebound and eventually got it afterwards. That almost felt similar, Joe, to that game. And I don't remember which game the exact game was, where they intentionally airballed the free throw and got the ball back via the possession arrow.
That was against Stack,
yes.
I believe now 3 seasons ago.
Was that 3 years ago?
Well, I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, I think you're right. 2 years ago.
Chestnut gets the lay-in again. He's got 28 points.
That ties his career high.
And, Joe, keep in mind, he got a rebound as well. He's got a triple-double tonight as well. What a performance from J.J. Chestnut in his final regular season game here at the Tank. Pull into Benedict. Back to Chestnut. A chance for 30 potentially for Chestnut. He drives towards the basket, and he cannot get it to fall. Fanatics were looking for a foul. Ball's loose. Poulin forces the turnover. Will they give Chestnut an opportunity for 30? He has a chance. Chestnut goes up with it, and he will go to the free throw line.
Does he know? Does the bench know?
I have to know. I'm certain of it.
I don't know, Nick. Unless they got a box at the last media timeout and are tracking with that.
Judging by how the bench reacted, that's why I'm basing it off of that.
He needs 1 for a career high.
And he's got the career high right there. His 29th point of the game. Andrew Benedict will check off, and the Dolphins will have a chance here. We'll see if Chestnut can get that 30th point. He's got it. 30-point triple-double for J.J. Chestnut and his final regular season game here at the Tank. What a performance from the senior. And he'll get ready for some postseason action on Wednesday. TJ Tibbs just put on his headband. Jump shot is off the mark by Martipano. Rebound.
Can I have that? You know what, Nick? You got to get me that headband for our next game.
I don't know.
Our rec league.
I don't know where it went. I can tell you right now, it's not TJ's head anymore.
Well, I have a great stat for you once this game is done.
Oh, if you want to give it now, the Dolphins are going to let the clock run out.
Well, I need to count first.
Oh, okay.
So give me a moment.
Now, the question is, what did they do with that headband? I don't see it. So the Dolphins will take a shot clock violation. And the Dolphins starters will get a nice standing ovation from the Fanatics here at the Tank. Dolphins will get another conference win on the season. They'll go into the postseason on a 3-game winning streak.
All right, Nick. In the first 21 games, J.J. Chestnut scored 15 or more just 5 times.
Wow.
In his last 7 games, 19, 21, 18, 17, 15, 21, and 30 here this afternoon. He's playing his best basketball of the season with the playoffs on the horizon.
No better time for Chestnut to be playing his best basketball of his career. And I'll be joined by him, Asa Kone, and Eric Tynes on the court for our TLC Physical Therapy post-game report. Dolphins win this one 99-82. I'll be back in just a few short moments.
Nick is taking off his headset as we speak, and he is headed courtside to be joined by our senior class. And what a night it was for senior J.J. Chestnut. Though this game got started in the afternoon hours, we have now bled into the evening hours on the plus side of 5 p.m. But J.J. Chestnut will be joined on the floor by Eric Tynes and Asa Kone for our TLC physical therapy post-game report. Nick will be out on the floor with that trio of Dolphin seniors shortly. But while we have some time ahead of our post-game report, scoring updates from around the ECC. UDC is on the verge of victory against Queens. They lead it by 12 as Nick is just about ready, so we may have to hold off. It is Firebird 77, Knights 65, and then it is Roberts Wesleyan over D'Youville at halftime, 36-32.
All right, Joe.
Roberts wins. They face the Dolphins.
Physical therapy players
if
of
they
the game,
lose and
Asa
UDC
Kone,
wins, they
Eric
face the
Tynes,
Dolphins.
and J.J. Chestnut. Asa, I'll start with you. Double-double for you here on the evening. Incredible performance for your team coming into the night. Talk to me about the atmosphere here at the Tank and what this game means to you, especially on Senior Day.
100%. This Tank is a blessing, man, and I'm just so happy to be here because I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm not even supposed to be here, so, I'm just forever thankful for the organization, for everybody here. I'm just so thankful for everybody. I appreciate it.
And Eric, talking to you earlier, last week I talked to your head coach, TJ Tips. He would like to see a lot more shooting from you. We saw it here in this game tonight from you. Talk to me about the 1 year you've had here at the Tank versus the CSI team. Of course, Senior Day for you as well. Your team going to the playoffs on Wednesday. Talk to me about what you're looking forward to the most going into playoff action.
I mean, my 1 year here has been amazing. It's been everything you could ever ask for. 20 wins, couldn't be more happy. And, I love these guys. I love playing with these guys. It's been the best. And I'm definitely looking forward to playoffs. We got to make a good run, definitely. This is a special team this year, so we're going to get it done for sure.
And JJ, I'll speak with you lastly. Career night for you, 30-point triple-double. Talk to me about what this game really meant for you. Of course, Senior Day as well, but talk to me about this career night for you and what you're looking forward to on Wednesday.
Well, we were lucky enough to get blessed with a home game next Wednesday for playoffs, but in my head, this was my last time playing here, and I remember all the times we were losing here. So that just makes me go hard every time I step on the court. We got fans that show out every time, so it's hard to not play hard when we got fans like this.
All right, thank you guys so much. Enjoy this victory. We'll see you back on Wednesday night for first-round action. Joe, an incredible performance from this Dolphins team. I'll throw it back over to you.
All right, thank you, Nick. Now, for our audience listening on Flow College, I'm not quite sure they had the audio that we expected from down on court level. I think Nick's microphone may have been off. However, his audio was picked up by a different microphone on the commentary desk. Nick is going to join me back on headset very shortly. But for the Dolphins, they are the 3 seed. They will be home on Wednesday night at 7 p.m., and they are still awaiting their opponent. UDC has won against Queens. They win and now put the pressure on Roberts Wesleyan. If the Redhawks win, they are the 6th seed. If the Firebirds hold on to win and Roberts Wesleyan loses, then UDC will move into that 6th slot. I'm not sure if I have Nick back. Nick, if I have you, let me know. All right, Nick, I don't know if you were aware, your microphone was off when you were on the court.
It was off?
Your microphone was off. However, we picked you up via the headset on the desk. So I tried to keep it really quiet. Your microphone was not on. So I don't know if you didn't have the switch on.
It was. I switched it before. I hear it right now through my headset.
Very odd.
That's
because
odd.
I did not hear you on the secondary live stream, though maybe our audience on Flow did hear you.
Okay.
So we'll have to go back and review that footage later. But I was able to make out what you were saying through the secondary headset. So at the very least, we had that. But I know you have a quick sign-off. You get the final thoughts.
Well, I also want to apologize. I didn't put the graphic up. I knew I forgot something before I went back onto the court. So I do apologize to our partners, TLC Physical Therapy. But what an incredible game for this Dolphins team, Joe. 99-82 the final here at the Tank. J.J. Chestnut spoke about it, but this game meant so much to not only him, but to the rest of his entire team. And this team now gets ready for a quick turnaround. Wednesday night, they're back here at the Tank for first-round action. As you just mentioned before, we're still not certain of who they will play in that first-round action, but tune in into all of our social medias in the next couple of hours to see who that matchup will be against. And you and I will be back together on the court here at the Tank for the Dolphins' first playoff action here for their first home playoff game here in the Division II era. For all of us here at CSI Sportsnet, we thank you for tuning in to today's coverage here on Senior Day for both the men's and women's side. For Nicholas Pavona, for Joe Foreman, thank you for everyone tuning in to tonight. Have a great rest of your Saturday evening.